Hey you guys, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. How's it going? So this is an unconventional video that I'm recording, and I have no idea if this Christmas music is going to be annoying. I thought I would have it on a little bit. So I am going to show you, I am making my famous, I laugh because, you know, they're chocolate covered Oreos. Can't be that famous. But my family loves them. My friends love them. They're a great gift idea for the holidays or any time of the year. And I thought I would share this because other people might be interested in how I do it. Okay, so I don't have, you know, the kind of equipment that most people would have in a kitchen, but I'm going to just do my best. And we'll see if you like this video. Okay, so basically I do get Oreos from Costco because they come in this huge box and they're quite inexpensive. Now, yes, I do know Oreos are not the most they're not healthy at all. They're not, no, they're not. Let's just be real. They're made with corn syrup, you know, so if there's a different kind of cookie you want to use, I just don't, you know, this is what I'm used to. This is what people are used to getting. I have tried flavored and I get a mixed review, like, you know, because not everybody likes peanut butter, you know, the other different flavors. And so I tend to stick to the regular flavor because in the most part, that's what people like. So now I am going to do something a little different. I am going to put peppermint dust that I think I got these at Target. And I think I got them a while ago. And so I'm going to put this peppermint dust on the bottom of the Oreos. So what you're going to need is you are going to need some molds. Besides the Oreos, you're going to need some molds. These are what I would consider Valentine's Day molds. I do have Christmas ones I'll show you. So the molds, these are for every day. You know, like if somebody is not feeling well, I might make some of these to help them feel a little better. We have Easter molds. You can get these on, just look up Oreo cookie molds. Just Google them. Oreo cookie molds. I have one that says love. It's backwards. It says love. And you do want them to be specifically the round ones. These are emojis. I have not used these. I think I got these on Etsy. So there is a store on Etsy. I will link the store specifically below. Because they have actually a good variety of them and they're quite inexpensive. They used to sell these at like Joann Fabric and Michael's, but they really don't anymore. So, but you can just start a little collection. My preference are ones that are not too deep. I'll show you, I might have some that are deeper. You see the width? So, and it just has to do with the way the chocolate sits in them. This might be a little deeper. Whoops. Can you see that? So that depth is a little, I can just tell it's a little deeper than this one. Whoops. So sometimes that's, especially this Easter egg, these are huge. So it's going to take a lot of chocolate. I'm not even sure. These are really big. I don't really love that. But they might be really cute. I mean, they're deep and they're huge. So they're much bigger than just an Oreo cookie. So I tend to look for the ones that are just like round like that. But I don't know why I bought this one. This is cute. I have another Easter one that I just recently got. So happy Easter. And, oh, see, this is another one. It's going to take up a lot of chocolate, but I mean, this one's freaking adorable. So this one, it's pretty thick, but the round part will get the cookie, and then the ears will be filled with chocolate. And you could do something cool in those. I mean, you could put nuts in there or something. Love this mold. This is like my favorite one of my favorites for everyday use, for gifts, birthday gifts, because I like the pattern. And look at how shallow. See the difference? See the difference in the shallowness of that? It does not take a lot of chocolate. And I happen to buy pretty expensive chocolate. Now, that might be the most irritating part of this video because where you get the chocolate I'm not 100% sure what to tell you about the chocolate. I will look to see where I get it, and if they have it online, I'll link it below. But there's a basically, I get this. These are not like that wafer. Well, I guess they are. It says dark confectionery coating, okay? But this is tempered chocolate. So what you're looking for is tempered chocolate, okay? If you don't get tempered chocolate, then what happens is if you've ever tried coating something with chocolate, and let's just say chocolate covered strawberries, and you get that white coating on it after it dries, that's because it wasn't tempered chocolate. So if you try using like Nestle's chocolate chips and just melt those down and use it for this, you might get a white coating on your front and back of your Oreos. It doesn't make a very pretty presentation at all. In fact, I did a whole tray of wedding Oreos for my niece's baby shower once. Oh no, wedding shower. Maybe it was baby shower, but we did a whole tray of them. That was cool. I did white and brown. They turned out really pretty. But if the brown ones had a bunch of coating, like that powdery looking coating, that's because your chocolate is not tempered. Okay. Now you can temper your own chocolate. You would just need to learn how to do that. So I do buy tempered chocolate, and I don't think these are very different. This chocolate is probably why mine tastes so good. So that's the only probably frustrating part about this video, is that if you can't, if you have a bakery store in your town, they will have this kind of stuff. So if you have a store wherever you live, or just, look online for like relatively good chocolate. And I use dark chocolate because dark chocolate, these are so sweet. The Oreos are so sweet that the dark chocolate balances it. Okay. So I've tried milk chocolate and it's way too sweet. And everybody loves the dark chocolate. So I have another bag. I have another whole bag. This is like a half a bag. So I have another whole bag. I have, this is 2.5 pounds, so 40 ounces. I think it costs $13 for that. Then in my little book that I keep here, I think in the very back. No, not in the back. I know exactly how many, well, it's in this book. I know exactly how much chocolate per mold that I need. Okay. And so, because I've made these for years and years and years, so I know exactly what I need to do. If I can find it, I might have to pause you for a second. Where is it? I used to have a really good, usually it's in the back of my little thing here. It basically, I believe it's 1 cup of chocolate for every, oh, hang on a second. Okay, so somehow I got myself organized and unorganized because I can't find the measurements, but I remember sort of what they are. So I do have a double boiler, and I'll talk about the measurements in a minute. So I use a double boiler, which, I'll put in, if you've never used a double boiler before, it's just easier to melt things and keep them melted while you put the chocolate and the Oreos in, okay? And I'm going to show you my Christmas trays in a second, my Oreo molds. So I put in the double boiler, I'll put in about 1 inch of water, not too much. I try not to you don't want to get the bottom of your double boiler wet. There will get condensation on this, but I don't know. Someone told me not to get it wet one time, but there gets condensation on it. I don't worry about it. So, but you don't need that much water, okay? So I will put 4 cups in, this is so old, I can't even tell you how big this is. It's not huge. This is a quart size. No, not even a quart. What is this? Just a saucepan. What do you call these? I don't even know. See, this is what happens when non-bakers do videos. This is just like one little tiny saucepan. What are these size? What is this size? So my other one doesn't even have that in there, but it's just like a normal, okay? It's just like a normal, I don't know, we call these saucepans. So you're going to want to fill a little bit of water. Again, if you don't have a double boiler, I wouldn't recommend doing this in the microwave. I just find it much harder. So if you're going to do this project, get a double boiler. It's just easier. And I don't think they're expensive. I think I bought this one at a garage sale. You could probably find them at, or I mean, you can make your own. Just look up how to do your own double boiling. So, but this is just easier. So you could probably Google how to do that. Okay, so my Christmas molds look like this. That's a little Santa's suit. So I'm going to put these aside actually because I'm not going to use these for today. Try to keep it organized as you got a picture of my stomach. Okay, so we've got the belt. I've got, this one is a double, and I love the size of this. Again, quite thin. This is snowflakes and snowmen. So there's two different kinds. I really like those. This one's all right. It's okay. It's just snowflakes. I kind of like this one. It's quite tight. This one, I don't know how to explain it to you, but like this one, you can see kind of the ledge might move out a little bit. This one, the ledge is really straight up and down. So the cookies are a little tighter in there, but you know, I've been doing it for so long, it doesn't really bother me. This one will require, this is an ornament, requires a little bit more chocolate because of the top, and they're a little thicker. And I've got two more. I've got, I like the ones that have multiple. This is a Christmas tree and a Santa. Those are nice. I like the multiple ones because they, I don't know, just get more designs. And this is a Christmas wreath right there. So those are the ones that I have. And I've had Halloween ones before. I've kind of gotten rid of those because I stopped making them for Halloween, but I shouldn't have gotten rid of them because you can't really find them as much as you used to. So shouldn't have done that. Should have just hung on to them. So yeah, so that's pretty much the supplies. I also would do, like I'll do these on the bottom. So I like to do a little decoration at the bottom, in the bottom of the cookie. So while the chocolate is warm still, I put a little something. Sometimes they have these little sugar things that are, you know, little Santas or something like that. I've put those on before. A couple people have thought they were going to break their teeth on them. So just be careful that they're not those really hard ones, you know, like you put on Christmas cakes. Those can be too hard. So today I'm going to use up the rest of these. These are from last year. I don't have a problem using them from last year. And then I am going to do the mint. Now the risk of this is not everybody likes mint, but I'm going to do peppermint on these because I found this really fine peppermint dust and I thought, oh, that'd be perfect. Okay, so that is the plan. And let me take you around and we're going to get started. Okay, so I'm going to take my double boiler. Again, this is not a cooking show, as you can tell. So I'm just going to fill up the double boiler here so you can see about how much I'm going to fill up. That might even be a little too much. Doesn't matter, don't worry about it. Just going to dry off the bottom on a towel, just so when I put it on my stove. Okay, we'll take this over as I walk with my laptop. Oh, don't look at my dirty stove. I just dropped some eggs on there this morning. Okay, so the double boiler's ready. And then I'm going to grab the chocolate. Okay, so I have I have a large measuring cup. If you only have a small one, that's fine. So I'm just going to measure 4 cups because that's what my double boiler, and 4 cups is manageable for, you know, keeping the chocolate melted enough and doing, you know, I think it's going to be 24, maybe 12. I can't quite remember. Maybe it's 12. We'll find out at the end. how many it is. Okay, so I'm just going to pour the chocolate into my double boiler. And I'm going to turn this on like level 4, basically. I just want to get well, it doesn't really matter. I just want the chocolate the water to start boiling here. I don't want it to be like rapidly boiling because I do want the chocolate to slowly melt while it's heating up. And I'm just going to let it sit for a minute or 2 or 3. And I'm going to wait until it starts to boil and starts to melt the chocolate. Then I'm going to use just a teaspoon. And once, like right now, there's no boiling going on. Once it does, I'll pick up the computer so you can see it. And so it's not melting yet. So once it starts to melt, then we'll get to work. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the chocolate to boil, I'm going to get things set up over here on my counter, and just so everything's ready to go, okay? So I got my trays lined up. I'm gonna get the cookies out. One thing about what's nice for me is I do have a sugar tooth, but because I've made these so often, I do not eat them. I have no desire. So if you're looking for something that you'll just never eat again, like these Oreos probably have been sitting down, smell them, have been sitting downstairs probably since last Christmas, which, you know, that's the thing about these kind of cookies, is that's why they're not so good for you at all, because of the preservatives. The fact that they stayed on the shelf that long is, you know, that's a whole other conversation. But today we're having fun with Christmas. A Christmas cookie or a Christmas dessert. So I basically get my Oreos in, just fill up, take it out of a couple of sleeves, just getting them ready so that once the chocolate is ready, you can get to work right away. Okay, so I'm just going to grab one more sleeve and dump it into the bowl. Okay, so we've got a nice little bowl ready to go. Then I'm also going to put we'll do the sprinkles first. So I'm going to just get rid of these sprinkles and put them in the bowl. Well, I don't know. Why am I doing that? This is the first time I've done it for this year. I think I'm not going to do that. Just disregard. I'll show you why, actually. So I'm going to keep them in here, in the container. I had forgotten this is what I do. So I'm going to keep them in the container and then slowly put them back in there. The bowl will actually be, you could do it a couple different ways. You can either, when you sprinkle these on the back of, I do it over the sink actually, and you can either capture them in a bowl, the extra sprinkles, so that you don't waste them, or you can just let them drop into the sink, whatever you want to do. But I probably will just put this bowl in the sink and then I can capture any of the leftover sprinkles. Okay, so now let's go over and check on the chocolate. So I've got my trays out ready to go. I'm going to put the sprinkles, both the sprinkles, over by the sink, because that's where I will be putting them on the chocolate. Yeah, take the lid off of that. Okay. So now let's go check on the chocolate and see what's going on. Let's see if you can see that. All right, it's still not even, there's no melting going on yet. Okay, I don't have the brightest light over the stove here, but there's really no, a little tiny bit of melting going on. So we've got a little time to wait here. So it's been going for about 5 minutes. So I'm just going to put the heat up a little bit more. Again, don't worry about it on a double boiler. So, you know, once it starts going, you can turn the heat down. You just want to get the water boiling so that the chocolate starts melting. Okay, so I will get you right back once it starts melting. So it just started. You can hear it, maybe hear the water boiling a little bit. I'll take that off. I can't really hold the computer at the same time. But you can see it's starting to melt. Can you see that? And so it will feel a little thick, like almost chunky for a while. And eventually it'll be really smooth and just silky, which is what you're going for. What I tend to do is when I end up, so at this point I will regularly stir it because you don't want it to burn. If it burns, then it's not going to taste good, okay? So you can't, I don't know, it's really not hard to do. You just have to pay attention. So you can see how much it's starting to melt. Now, all that kind of white coating that it looked like had like a powdery coat on it, you can see how it's starting to get really silky now. And so I just keep stirring. And I use a teaspoon because the teaspoon is what I use to drip the chocolate into the cookie molds. And I could probably turn the heat down just a little bit, so I'm just going to turn it down. I don't really need the water boiling. And so I will just kind of chop it up, just keep chopping it up, separating. Some of the wafers have stuck together. And then just keep stirring. I'm doing this with my left hand because I'm holding the computer with my right. Hopefully you're getting a good picture of this. So now you can see it's getting quite creamy. That didn't take long. When I started filming again here, they were not hardly melted at all. So that did not take long. Now I can hear some wheezing coming out of I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bit of wheezing coming out. So that means it's boiling too much. So because I am really getting down there, so my chocolate, sorry about the filming, I'm just trying to see how this is holding my laptop. Because this is really getting down there, I am comfortable at this point taking it off the heat. Just remember that the water is boiling. So it's still going to remain hot underneath the double boiler. That's the beauty of the double boiler. If you did this in the microwave and you take it out of the microwave, you've immediately lost your heat and your chocolate will start getting hard again. Okay? And so that's why doing the Oreos this way, you have a lot of time to work with a lot of different trays when you have it in a double boiler. It just keeps the chocolate melted longer. I hope I'm not taking you along for the ride as I stir here. Okay, so I am going to get just something to put the pan on. It is a little slightly chunky still. I'm just going to take it off though. I'm going to take it off the stove and let it finalize its melt on my counter. Okay? So let's set up here so you can see. So I've got the chocolate here and there are hardly any lumps. There's a few. There's one right there. So I'm going to wait, but look how shiny it is. I'm going to wait now until, please don't leave comments about my filming because it's not going to matter. Because this is not a kitchen show. I'm just doing this for fun for my channel for whoever wants. So look how silky it is getting. Isn't that nice? And remember, it's tempered, so it's going to be, tempered chocolate is a little bit more silky. Now, I can't say I've never ruined my chocolate before. So, if you cook it a little too fast, or it's too hot, then it will start to get kind of clumpy again at the bottom. I can't explain the science behind that. Somebody else would be able to, who is an expert in explaining that kind of stuff. So it looks like it's pretty ready to go. I'm just going to kind of clear out any of the extra lumps, and we can get filling. So I'll just do a couple trays for you so this doesn't get too long. And you can see, okay, so that's it's pretty smooth now. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. All right. So now I am going to, let's position this so you can see. I've got all my stuff here. I've got my trays. So I'm basically going to take a little bit of a teaspoon and I'm going to just plop it in the bottom. Just enough to fill the bottom. Okay? And I do that with all 6 in one tray. Just real fast, I just plop. It's not perfect science, doesn't really matter how much. It's about half of this teaspoon I kind of grab and fill the 6, okay? And you can see I didn't worry about it. You see how it's not totally even at the bottom? Because the Oreo itself will fill. So what I do is put the Oreo in and kind of circle it around, okay? Put the Oreo in and kind of circle it around. I'm trying to do this without the chocolate pouring out. So you can see, or if you really wanted to, you can go like this, and the chocolate will fill in at the bottom. Okay, so you can do it that way too. But I just put the Oreo in and push down, then the chocolate will come up around the sides. Super easy. Again, not an exact science. Don't worry about it. Doesn't have to be perfect. That was a cracked Oreo. Who cares? Fill all 6 of them. And I just work with one tray at a time. Okay? Then I take the chocolate again and I put a dollop on top of each one. Could be a little bit more of a dollop. It depends on how much you have to fill up, okay? Then I spread it around on top and try to get it a little bit down the sides. And I'll show you what I do at the end, okay? So now I just put that dollop on top and it looks like that, okay? Not perfect, just filled up the sides. Okay, so there's a dollop like that, okay? And then I just push it around the sides and just see, you can just kind of see that it's filling in the gap, basically. Okay? So I'm going to do that with all 6. I try not to get it on the side as much as possible, but you can see I just got some right there on the side of the tray. I tend to wipe that off. Just put it back. Or I have a towel over here, or just whatever. It's not a huge deal if you get it on the tray, but when they come, what I do immediately when I'm done with this tray is I put it in the fridge, and within 15 minutes, it'll be hard. And you can pop them out, which I will show you when that's done. Okay, so I've got the one tray ready to go. That's how fast that is. Now it looks like I put a little bit more chocolate in that one than I did the others, but oh well. Again, don't worry about it. Now, you will just go like this. So right now you can see a little bit of unevenness, right? You see that? On this side it's a little smoother because I just popped those on the counter. So you're just looking for a little bit of pop, a little bit of smoothness, and you see this little, see that little air hole right there? You're trying to get rid of the air holes because I have learned over time you can get air holes around the side under here if you don't do this little thing, whatever you call this. Okay. So you're just looking for any of the little air holes to pop off and just a little bit of smooth. You can tell when the air holes are kind of done popping. I might look on the sides to see. I used to get them where you get a ledge right here because if I didn't do this. Okay, so let's go over to the sink. That one's not too smooth, but that's okay. I can tell all the air holes are gone. So let's go over to the sink. And we got my little smiley cat face. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to basically just do a coating on top with these. And I'm going to let the other ones fall into the bowl that's in the bottom of the sink. Now I'm turning it. You want to leave this as, you want to try to keep this as smooth as possible, level as possible, because if you're tilting it like this, your chocolate's going to start going down. So then what I do, once I do the coating, is I just pop it like this. And that's why some of it's going in the bowl, some of it's not. But I pop it to the side a little bit just to get those extras off. And then if I have any that need to be filled in, I'll fill them in. Any chocolate that looks like didn't get a lot, okay? Pop it off. The reason I pop it off is because once I put it into the fridge, I don't want little sprinkles all over my fridge. Okay, so just pop it off like that. And then I'm going to take this. Now you get to see what my fridge looks like, which I don't know. I haven't looked in there. So I'm going to take this. I'm not even sure I have room at the moment. But I will usually make a bunch of room. And let's see. So I'm going to make some room in here. That was chicken tetrazzini we had the other night. So I'm going to put these at the top of my fridge. And then I will end up with like 6 trays in there. And I'll put one on top of here. And then those will be ready to come out once they're cooled off. So I will do one more tray, probably a thicker one this time. So let's do this one. This was thicker. Okay. And you have to fill in a little bit more chocolate. So I'm just going to stir my chocolate. Now you notice that that took me a little bit of time. Well, my chocolate is still melted because it's sitting over warm water. Okay, so I'm going to fill the bottom of the tray again. I'm not quite worried about that. I could probably move that little fill in the divot a little bit. Sorry, you can't see that. Fill in the little divot here. Okay. This one, because it's thicker, I'm going to use a little bit more chocolate at the bottom. You know, if you put too much chocolate at the bottom, it's no big deal. It just will require less chocolate on top. So just don't worry about it, okay? So filling up. And again, these are thicker, so I'm going to need, I just need more chocolate at the bottom. And then I'm going to take the Oreo, push it down. Now, when I'm pushing it down, it's filling in. It filled in this section up here, okay? So I didn't even really need to dabble the chocolate into that section. It just filled it in for me. So see how it just pushed the chocolate in there? And so that will be just a little extra piece of chocolate for somebody to enjoy, okay? And just push all 4 of these. And then I'm going to go ahead and coat them. Put the top on. Just smooth it around, get it sort of in the cracks. Fill in that little extra. Now I got a big wallop of chocolate at the end there. It's no big deal. Sometimes I just pushed it in there. Just make sure your hands are clean if you're cooking for someone else. You'll be tempted to lick your fingers at this point. I wouldn't do that if you're cooking for someone else. That might have been too much chocolate there. Yep, so I just put a little too much on there. I could tell it was too much, so I just moved it over. No big deal. Move it around. Someone's going to get a little extra chocolate on that one. Okay. And maybe with this one we'll put the peppermints on. The peppermint dust. All right. You know, and this one actually looks like the chocolate was a little chunky there. No big deal. It won't look chunky when it's done. Plus, there's going to be something at the bottom. It's going to be covered with peppermint dust. so you won't be able to see it, okay? So because these are so thick, I do want to make sure that the air holes are completely out of there. But you generally want to work sort of fast because, you know, the chocolate's not going to remain melted forever. But you can see the bottom without the chocolate pouring down. You can see it's pretty filled in there. Okay, so let's go get the peppermint. Okay, so the peppermint dust basically just has a cap on it, but it doesn't have a kind of a grate on there, so it's going to probably pour out pretty fast. So you just, you know, and you know what? I decided I'm not using the bowl in here. I just really don't do that often because then I have to be careful. It kind of stresses me out that it's not going in the bowl. So there's going to be a little extra. Now, if I wanted to, now this is a little different than the sprinkles. If I wanted to, I could probably, can't really see it, but go like this and just get, so that was quite a bit that came out and went into the bowl. So you could do it that way rather than doing it over the sink, or you could just do it this way over a bowl. That's maybe what I'll do because this peppermint is coming out pretty fast. And I don't really feel like wasting that much peppermint. It doesn't seem like, that's kind of pretty. It doesn't seem like the sprinkles really don't come out that as fast as this stuff's coming out because it's kind of a bigger hole that the peppermint's coming out of. So yeah, so this I will use the bowl for sure. So I don't have to waste it. And then you don't have to worry about how much you're putting on there either. And just knock it off. Just careful that you're not letting the chocolate come out too much of the others. And you're going to notice right here, there's a little bit of a lip, right? You can either wipe it off now, or I'm going to leave it so you can see. I just usually leave it, because if I wipe it off, it can, well, I'll show you. You can either wipe it off now, and that turned out pretty good. But if you have a lip there, you can just let it get cold, and then you can just peel it off also. Okay, so I'm going to put these in the fridge. And then when these are ready, I'm going to go do the other trays. I'm going to show you what I do with them after that. Okay, I thought I would show you this tray because first of all, my chocolate's getting thicker because I'm a little slower because I'm filming this. And so the chocolate's getting a little thicker, and this cookie tray happens to have not a lot of space in between the cookie and the side, okay? So this is going to look a little sloppier. And I'm okay with that. So don't, you know, this is supposed to be fun. This is once you get the hang of this, it is so fast. If you wanted, I like literally keep this chocolate in the Oreos and the molds, the everyday molds within access down in my storage room so that if I have a gift I want to make for somebody really fast, I always have the ingredients. And it's just because it's so fast. It maybe doesn't seem that fast, but if, you know, this video is, what, 38 minutes long right now, but I've been explaining things, like 5 minutes of where to get stuff, which, by the way, I was thinking, I will do, so now this tray is a little broken, actually, because this one I've been using for a while, so it's not as easy it's not cooperating with me. There we go. So you can see how it's bubbled up over the sides. Don't worry about it, okay? I don't do anything with that. It would be way too messy. I can see I have a little air hole that's not filling in, so I'm just going to take some more chocolate and fill it in for myself, okay? There wasn't as much chocolate on this one, so I'm just going to... All right, so yeah, so I will look, and in the description, I will try to find some chocolate that would be appropriate, probably on Amazon, that's tempered. And some molds. Like I said, I'll leave the Etsy link. And I will leave some other supplies, like the double boiler that I would recommend. I'll put that all in the description for you, okay? I figured that would be easier. Okay, we'll see you when they're all dried up. Okay, so I'm getting down to the end of my chocolate. All right. And so you can kind of, you'll get the feel of whether or not, you know, how much chocolate you need to make like a few more, basically. And then what I will do is after I make these last couple, I just get a sense of how much chocolate is in here. I really don't like wasting the chocolate, so this is when I actually enjoy eating, like, if I'm going to have any of this. These tend to be quite sweet, even with the dark chocolate. They tend to be quite sweet for me. And so what I will do is I will take the rest of this chocolate, and so this is what the double boiler will look like. It's going to drip a little bit. Can you see that? Let's see. So it's going to drip a little bit. So I'm just going to take this off and put this here so maybe you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to take the hot water and I'm just dripping, dumping the hot water in the sink, and it actually dissolved the leftover sprinkles that were in the sink, which was kind of nice. Sorry you have to listen to the banging. Let me just get these two done, and then I'm going to show you what I do with the leftover chocolate. Okay, so I have 28 done. So 4 cups for 28. It could be 4 cups for 24. It just depends on how thick your chocolate trays are, okay? So right now they're sitting in the fridge, basically all over the place. And that's why you don't want those little sprinkles. Trust me, I've had sprinkles all over the fridge before when I didn't get smart about this. I wasn't too happy about it. Okay, so now in here, some leftover chocolate. What I'm going to do is just kind of round it up. Now you can take pretzels, nuts. It's not actually a bad idea. I should actually, we're trying to incorporate walnuts into our diet a little bit more because they're really good for you. So I have walnuts in the freezer. They're not toasted. I do prefer to toast them, but I am going to do some chocolate covered walnuts with the last of the chocolate. So I'm just going to spin it around in there. There's a little bit of a ledge inside of my double boiler. I don't know why. It seems like a silly thing to put in there. There's a little ledge in there that just collected a whole bunch of chocolate. So I do kind of scoop that out. So then there you have it. Now I've got some, it looks like I can even put more. Just try to get as much as you can so you don't waste your chocolate, because it's pretty expensive chocolate. And now you have a different kind of treat. So you could break up Oreos. If I'm going to eat the Oreos at all, this is going to be way healthier. The dark chocolate. And now my walnuts are frozen. I do keep my nuts in the freezer because they last longer. And that wasn't great for the chocolate. It really just dried the chocolate very fast. So now my chocolate is basically hard. So let's just give this, I'm just going to give this one a whirl. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, yeah. That's good. Okay. So find something healthy and put in there. You're going to have enough unhealthy stuff during the holidays, right? Okay, but that's funny because that chocolate just hardened up so fast because my nuts are frozen. Okay, I'll be right back and we'll look at taking the Oreos out of the tray. So I'm still waiting for them to get a little hard in the fridge. They've been in there for like 10 minutes. Should only be like 10 more minutes. But I cannot overemphasize this enough. These are good. These walnuts. Now I buy organic nuts through nuts.com and because they're much cheaper. But I cannot this is the first time I've done this with the walnuts. Wow. If the chocolate didn't get hard like it did because they were frozen, I can just put them right in a bowl, which is what I did. So if they're not, if the chocolate is, like if you do Oreos or pretzels with the extra chocolate, then I would just, you could put it on, what's that called? The paper, what's that called? You don't have the, hang on. I have some. I just can't remember what it's called. Yes, parchment paper. I know you're screaming at the video. Parchment paper! So I will put a link to this too. I don't know. This one I get at our co-op. So I'm not sure about that brand, but. So I put it on parchment paper and then it can peel right off once it's dry. Or if you don't have parchment paper, just spray a little tiny bit of oil, like baking oil. Tiny bit. Just move it around on a plate. Put your chocolate on there. You just need to be able to get it off the plate, because if you let it harden on a plate, it is very hard to get off. It can be very hard to get off. So, okay, let's check them. Let's see what's going on in here. So this is our, oh yeah, so my first tray is hard. Let's see if my last tray is still a little soft. Lucy's taking a peek in the fridge. There you go. All right, so let's take a look. You don't have to see me untray all of them. So this is completely, they're completely hard. I can touch them, my finger's not, that was probably in the fridge in like 15 minutes. Again, super fast. I do this over the sink because, you know, just in case any of the sprinkles come off. And I typically will have a plate over there, which I don't have right now. So let's go grab one. So I'm going to leave those right there. Just got to have something to put them on. Hi, Luce. That's Lucy. Want to say hi? Want to say hi? Hi. Hi. She's like, oh, I'm on camera? What? All right. So now you basically, I turn them over, which you'd be like, what? And I just pop it out. Just pop it. Look at that. Look at that. Completely solid chocolate all the way around. Smooth. Yeah, I know. Exciting, Luce. Smooth chocolate. No coating on it because it was tempered. It's beautiful. Whoops, my hand just got wet. All right, again, I'm upside down. I do kind of keep my hand under them. And then just pop, okay? That's how easy they come out. Look at that. Look how shiny that is. Get under the light. Amazing, right? Just start a tray. I mean, I literally, because I just did 28 of them. Basically, it would take me like 30 minutes to do 28 of these. And because they're so fancy, people think that you just spent like a gazillion hours on them. Now, notice how this one has a little bit of stuff on the side. So I just brush it off. Oh, okay. So here's an imperfect one. You think anyone's going to care if that's imperfect? I didn't take the time to make sure that all the bubbles were off the side. So actually, I'm glad I did that, because that's what will happen. You get this little hole. It's no big deal. Who cares? Eat that one yourself if you want to. You know? Nobody cares. I used to get really big ones before I knew about, you know, slapping the tray down, basically. So, and if you get a bunch of coating around the side, just, you know. I am getting a little chocolate on my hands. Could mean that they're not completely 100%. But there's a little bit more there. You can see that little ledge. Whoops. So I'm just going to just peel it right off. That's it. So I had one little imperfect one. No big deal. People will eat it. Okay. I hope that was helpful. That was sure fun for me to share that. I've been making those for so long. It was kind of fun to share. I'm sure I'm not the only one who shares how to do these online, but I felt like doing it myself. All right, well, happy holidays, or whenever you're listening to this. You can make them again for any gift. They're really it's just wonderful to have the supplies around. Oh, one last thing. Because, like I told you, that's 4 cups. Let's just say that for every cup you can make 6. Okay? So let's just say you just wanted to make 6 of them. Then just melt a cup of chocolate, basically. And if you're going to make lots of them, like say you want to make them for a wedding shower or you want to make them for a baby shower, they're so cute. You can get baby molds, wedding molds. And then, like I said, I did white chocolate. I have a bag of white coating over there for a different dessert, but I have the white chocolate, tempered chocolate, and dark chocolate. And then you could do every other, and it makes a really pretty tray for like baby showers, wedding showers. You could go as far as decorate colors in here, but no, not me. I don't have the patience for it. So like, especially bigger molds that have just like, you know, a one indent, you can pour a separate color chocolate in there. I've tried it before, actually. I might have done that for a wedding. Let me show you the tray real quick. So something like this that has this pattern, you could literally sit with a paintbrush and fill that in with white, that whole thing with white chocolate, let it dry, and then pour the dark chocolate on top. Now I think I did a few like that when I can't remember if it was a wedding shower or baby shower, but for my niece I did a whole bunch of them. And I think I did that for like the hearts. I have one with hearts. That one's easy to do. You can fill in the heart with chocolate, with dark chocolate, then do a white chocolate cookie. And that turned out really pretty. Just to have a few on the tray like that. Just a few. It doesn't have to be all of them. I just don't have the patience to do all of them. But if you do, you know, some people who make gorgeous sugar cookies might have the patience for that. So those are just some different ideas. But if you're going to do batches, you're going to want at least 6 of these and do like 4 cups at a time. Again, I did 28 cookies in 30 minutes and I would have been faster just because I'm used to doing it faster. So, but you want, if I only had 1 tray, it would have taken me a lot longer, obviously. So it's better to have like 6 trays of different molds and then you can just make them boom, 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 you know. So don't try to do like a whole batch of them with 1 tray. If you're being a little, just purchase a couple more. It's just easier and you'll get them done much faster. So, all right, let me know if you have any questions or comments and we'll see you in the next video. Check out my other videos and Ask the Spirit Guides. This is totally random video on this channel. So I hope you enjoyed it and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.